I want to talk a little bit more about Totenpass. And I think it's necessary to kind of explain over and over again a new product. There are many people who, when they hear about Totenpass, they understand it intuitively and it makes sense to them right away. And then there's a lot of other people that I've talked to that don't necessarily understand it. And that's totally okay and expected. I'm very accustomed to explaining new products or new things to people that are skeptical or that have never heard of them. When I started talking about Bitcoin in 2013, I was literally laughed at. I mean, literally, people thought that it was a joke, and they could not conceive that this magical internet money could be something that could be anything that people would ever want or be valuable. And now we're sitting at over $60,000 Bitcoin today. It's the same with other types of products. Another good example would be Mene jewelry, which I will talk about again. Don't worry, people that are here to talk about Mene. I've got plenty more to say about that. It's just right now I'm focusing on Totenpass. And Mene is another example of something that, I started talking about maybe 4 years ago and was again laughed at. I mean, I have screenshots of this stuff of people just doubting that 24 karat gold jewelry, it would make any sort of sense. And now there are tens of thousands of reoccurring customers and millions of dollars of revenue for Mene. So Totenpass, we don't know if this will be widely adapted or not. I think that it's going to be popular, very much so, as people start to get to wrap their heads around what this is for. The advantage Totenpass has is this is not a new product. Like, this is a new way of presenting it to the world, and it has advantages that old Totenpasses don't have. And when I talk about old Totenpasses, I mean thousands of years old. And another example of a form of using gold to store data would be on the Voyager, which was a NASA-launched initiative where they put a gold record and had a summary of human knowledge on it, just in case that spacecraft encountered intelligent life. And that was back in 1979. That's actually a very modern example of gold being used as storage versus an original Totenpass. So I think sometimes we really have to take a step back and realize that every new product that's a paradigm shifting product looks really crazy at first because nobody has really done it in that way before, whether it was the iPhone, whether it was the internet. These things that people initially mock sometimes end up being very widely adapted. So just be careful, because you don't want to be that guy that has a screenshot of something that you thought was so ridiculous and then became much more mainstream. But I wanted to just read a couple quotes. So Totenpass is now filtering through the news cycles, and I've seen it a few times on Twitter besides myself. People have shown examples of what they were doing with it, and it was the same type of things that I do. People taking photos of their wedding pictures and important data that they want to preserve. And an article came out from Datanami, which is a data science sort of newsletter, and it's got a couple quotes from CEO Roy Sabag, and I'm going to read them to you. Roy says, "What we find is that the same qualities which made gold so special in nature have led towards its ascent as premier money, premier artistic media, and premier jewelry. Also make the gold the premier method to store data, digital or otherwise, when permanency and energy efficiency through time are the primary objectives." And he has one more quote here that I want to read. And he says, "Although this paradigm has proved to be increasingly practical or convenient, we have sacrificed something of our autonomy and control of our precious information." He's talking about the storage of data through like the internet and through computers and through hard drives. You can now exit the internet paradigm by storing your most precious information offline in indestructible gold, which you can hold in your hand rather than on decaying hard drives or third-party servers. So this is Roy's vision, and you have to remember that years of development have gone on this product, and although you may look at it and not understand it at first, I hope that you watch my videos on it and the origins of Totenpass and kind of why and how people are using it, and keep an open mind before you just laugh at it. And there's plenty of people that are doing that. I just want to kind of speak to the skeptics out there. So stay tuned for more information on Totenpass.